Guys, I don't even know how to begin this episode because I am mad. I am furious. I'm livid. And I'm not necessarily mad at Haaretz itself. Haaretz is a far left newspaper that basically writes trash articles. They've been doing it for a very long time. And it's a publication that's also hated by Israelis themselves because of the far left propaganda they put out there, like calling Hamas freedom fighters and all that. Also, before I begin, I do want to acknowledge that today is the 2-year anniversary of the genocidal massacre of over 1,200 innocent Israelis by Hamas terrorists and Palestinian civilians, by the way. And so today's a 2-year anniversary, and I just want to, give my condolences to the Jewish and Israeli community. We stand with you, and we are with you. Last year, I was actually in Israel. I had the honor of being in Israel and commemorating the anniversary of, the first anniversary of October 7 in Israel. And I'll probably do sort of a more informal show later tonight to talk a little bit about that. But right now, what I really want to speak about, because it is so important, it's so critical, is what is happening right now. And I mean, yes, Haaretz is definitely a part of it. And I do think there needs to be an investigation done into why Haaretz put out this fake news article. It is literally fake news. It is propaganda. I spoke about it in my live stream yesterday. So if you missed that, go back and check that. Watch my live stream from yesterday, because I go through the Citizen Lab article, which is the study that Haaretz used to claim that the people who support King Reza Pahlavi, who is the only Iranian opposition leader and the legitimate Iranian opposition leader, they claimed that this is all sort of a fake Israeli-funded propaganda thing, which is completely false, by the way. The study, first of all, didn't even say anything like that. The study pointed to about 50 bot accounts that became active for a 2-week period during the 12-day conflict. But Haaretz extrapolated this bullshit nonsense story from that. For the likes, clicks, whatever, I don't know. Maybe there's more nefarious reasons. To me, it seems like there is a more nefarious reason for why Haaretz put that article out there. And I hope that the Israeli government looks into this very seriously, because to me, it seems like there's some sort of coordination happening behind the scenes between those Haaretz journalists and NIAC. NIAC is the National Iranian American Council. It is the lobby group for the Islamic Republic in the United States. They've tried to deny it, but they can't. They've tried to silence Iranians who sound the alarm on them by bringing forward defamation lawsuits. Those defamation lawsuits have failed. So, the proof is in the pudding. But there is some sort of coordination happening there. And this is what I'm mad about. I'm not necessarily mad at Haaretz. I mean, I think Haaretz is a trash publication. I think, they should be held responsible for their actions. But I think they were probably motivated more by money than anything else, right? Those journalists who wrote that trash article, most likely motivated by money, probably did not realize the damage that they would do by publishing that trash article. Who I am really mad about, and let me pull up who I'm actually mad about. Let me find what it is that I'm looking for here, and I'll show you exactly who I'm mad about. I should have pulled this up earlier, but I'm just, I've been so focused on a whole bunch of things that I'm trying to do. Okay. So here's who I'm mad about. I'm mad at these people. I'm mad at these people, and I am not just mad, I'm livid. I'm furious because these people are the controlled opposition. These people are the ones who knowingly spread the fake news story by Haaretz, okay? They spread the fake news story by Haaretz, knowing full well that by promoting that article, they would add legitimacy to that garbage news story, which now the Islamic Republic is using that Haaretz news story to force confessions out of Iranians whose only crime is wanting to live in a free and democratic society. Like this is the insanity that we Iranians have been dealing with and continue to deal with for 47 years. So let's just, let's start at the beginning. And, I will walk you through very quickly, how did we go from a fake news article by Haaretz to an Iranian inside of occupied Iran being forced to confess to being an Israeli agent? Like that is the end result of the Haaretz article. The Haaretz article, which is completely 100% fake, okay? Fake. The end result of that article, bolstered by these people, by the way, bolstered by these traitors, okay? Every single, I know they're Iranian, but to me, they're not Iranian. These people are anti-Iranian. They're anti-Iran. Every single one of them is a traitor to Iran. They are a traitor to the over 80 million Iranians who are living in the biggest open air prison in the world, certainly in the Middle East. These people are the ones who amplified the fake news story of Haaretz, which was then used by the Islamic Republic to force a confession out of an Iranian dissident who is a supporter of King Reza Pahlavi and who wants Iran to be freed, right? So, and these people aren't all necessarily with the Islamic Republic. Some of them are. Okay? Let me go through this. So, for example, here, let me see. Can you guys see my mouse? I don't know. So this guy here, okay, this guy, Reza Pahlavi, he is definitely with the Islamic Republic. Here, let me pull it up here. So this guy here, Reza Pahlavi, okay, right here, he's definitely with the Islamic Republic. So he's the guy who created an organization called the National Iranian American Council, which is the pro-Islamic regime lobby group, right? And then you have this woman right here, this vile demonic creature. Her name is Farnaz Fasihi. She's a so-called journalist, reporter with the New York Times. She has been posting fake news about Iran and the Iranian, revolution for a very long time. She just posted more fake news today. She actually just outed herself. She literally outed herself. Let me pull this up here. I just tweeted about this. So I'm going to pull this up so I can show you. Here we go. So just like yesterday, okay, just yesterday, she tweeted, "We have not seen or heard Iranians chant Reza Pahlavi's name in waves of protests in Iran." First of all, that's a complete lie. I have posted, numerous times, like countless times, I have posted, others have posted, hundreds of thousands of Iranians chanting for Reza Pahlavi's name. Okay, so that in and of itself is a flat out lie. Okay, the videos are there. I will show you some of those videos again, but I mean, this is just a flat out lie. This is exactly how these people have been gaslighting us. But the other thing she says is we have not seen calls for protests and strikes materialize. We have seen the calls for protests and strikes materialize. And again, I've posted videos of it and I will show you some of those videos. But the reason I'm sharing this with you is this is how these so-called journalists, okay, these journalists gaslight Iranians, and this is how they lie to the rest of the world. Now, this is the interesting part. This is where she outed herself. Iranians inside have only chanted "No Shah, no cleric." That is a lie. Okay, first of all, show me one video. Show me one video. If anyone can find it, put it in the, in the comments, in the YouTube chat. Show me one video of Iranians inside of Iran who have chanted "No Shah, no cleric." They haven't. The "No Shah, no cleric" is a slogan of an Islamic Marxist cult called the MEK. Okay, the MEK. And they only chant "No Shah, no cleric" outside of Iran, okay? Because the MEK it's hard to believe, but the MEK is even more hated by Iranians than the terrorist Islamic Republic itself. And I have the data and I have the facts and I have the statistics to prove that. I've tweeted about it before. Many of us have tweeted about it, but I'll show it to you again. But again, like, these people don't care. By the way, she has me blocked on X because I constantly call out her nonsense. But this is the, here we go, Sam. So this is an important thing. So Sam here says, "I haven't seen a single video from Iran in the past 2 decades that says anything close to that." 100%. You're 100% right. None of us have, right? Like, no Iranian. We have not seen it. It simply does not exist. But this is how these people, okay, gaslight Iranians, and they also gaslight the world, right? So when we speak about the controlled opposition, this is what we're referring to. These people are literally working hand in hand with the Islamic Republic in order to preserve its legitimacy, and their only role is to attack anyone who speaks out against the Islamic Republic. Their role is to attack those who are a legitimate opposition. So the reason why this woman, this psychotic, demonic, vile human being, is attacking King Reza Pahlavi and not the Islamic Republic is because she has an agenda. The agenda is to preserve the Islamic regime because, I've said it before, but I will say it again, and I will repeat it as many times as I have to. If someone is spending more time attacking the Iranian opposition than they are attacking the Islamic Republic, okay, those people are part of the Islamic Republic. I'll repeat it again. If someone like Farnos Fasihi, if someone is spending more time attacking the legitimate Iranian opposition that is trying to overthrow a brutal Islamic dictatorship, If you're attacking the opposition, then you are part of the Islamic dictatorship. Okay? So again, and then even in my tweet, okay? So even in my tweet, I continue on and I say, I've posted numerous times about the strikes. So I mean, here we go. There's a trucker strike happening, okay? And we've even spoken about it. And even like King Reza Pahlavi, okay, he's spoken about it. He's spoken about the trucker strikes. You know, like, look, right there. And I'll play this video for you, okay? But again, here you go. So this is how these people gaslight us. So she says, we have not seen Pahlavi's calls for protests and strikes materialize in Iran. Okay, so if we haven't seen calls for strikes materialize in Iran, you lying garbage human being, what the hell is this? What the hell is all of this here, right? Let's watch this video. So this is a Fox News video. Okay, this is from the King's interview back on May 28th with Maria Bartiromo on Fox News. So let's watch this video. Okay, we'll watch it together
right now. And the strikes now. Your Highness, I think when you said a moment ago, we have to underline this: Iran is at its weakest. The people have risen. The people want change. You've had this Iranian truck drivers on strike right now, and the strikes are continuing this week.
Yes.
Today, protests first broke out last week. They've spread to 130 cities across 30 provinces. They're standing against a rise in insurance premiums, poor road security, high fuel prices, and low freight rates. Middle East experts are urging the Trump administration to support this strike. You've said nonviolent civil disobedience like this can bring down the regime. Do you expect that? How much more significant does this need to get to bring down the regime?
Well, you know, it's always has been my school of thought that nonviolent civil disobedience is the best method to achieve a peaceful end, as well as bringing the least cost possible to the nation achieving that end, versus other scenarios of armed struggle or what have you, or as a result of foreign invasions or occupation. The Iranian people are ready today to go beyond this regime. They are demanding that, and every signal that they send to the whole world is, listen, we are the agent of change. We are the people you should cut a deal with, not this regime. We are on the streets fighting. We are protesting. And it's not just because they have reasons to protest. This regime has been incapable of providing the most basic needs of society: electricity, water. We have yet to be in the heat of the hot summer months. Imagine what will happen then on top of everything. It's just a powder keg that is ready to explode. Now, because we are in this momentum, this is why I said, I think last time we spoke,
yes,
that this is a window of opportunity not to miss.
Farnaz Fasihi, you lying garbage human being. This woman, so again, let me go back and I'll just, I will explain this again, especially for the new people who just joined, because this is exactly how these people have been gaslighting the world and legitimizing the existence of the Islamic Republic. So when non-Iranians say, well, if Iranians, if you hate the Islamic Republic so much, why don't you rise up and overthrow them? Iranians are trying to rise up and overthrow the Islamic Republic, but it's the existence of garbage people like Farnaz Fasihi and others who are constantly pushing the narrative of the Islamic Republic and who are constantly lying about the reality of what's happening in Iran that is legitimizing the Islamic Republic, and they are fooling the rest of the world. They are trying to fool non-Iranians into thinking that Iranians don't want to overthrow the regime. So let's go back, look at this woman's garbage tweet again. So here we go. So she says, we have not seen or heard Iranians chant Reza Pahlavi's names in waves of protests in Iran. We have not seen Pahlavi's calls for protests and strikes materialize in Iran. Iranians inside have chanted no Shah, no cleric. Okay, so no Shah, no cleric is an MEK MEK's slogan. Okay, that's the slogan of the communists. So right away, she's outed herself as a communist supporter, right? The MEK, it's a Marxist Islamist cult. They're more hated than the Islamic Republic itself because they helped the Islamic Republic turn Iran into a 7th century Islamic hellhole back in 1979. And then during the Iran-Iraq war, they actually joined the side of Saddam Hussein and helped murder Iranians. So like, Iranians hate them. Like these people are traitors to the country. They are their own like little cult, and they have no legitimacy inside or outside of Iran. But, they do get funding. I don't know if it's from the Soviets or, Russia or wherever, but they get funding to constantly promote that Russian narrative, disinformation propaganda. So that's the first thing. And then she says, we have not seen his calls for protests and strikes materialize in Iran. Okay, you garbage human being. If we haven't seen the calls for protests and strikes inside of inside of Iran, what the hell is this? What is this, interview from May 28 where Fox News literally shows, okay, you see this? Ongoing Iranian protests. Look at that. Literally every single major city across Iran, is undergoing protests and strikes. Okay? This is how their disinformation campaign works. They think that just because they ignore the facts, just because they don't write about it, they can deny that it's happening. Well, let me tell you something. The truth is there, and the videos are there. And by the way, when she says, okay, there's no one's chanting Reza Pahlavi's name, again, another lie, literally another lie. Here's just one example. This is from March 9, okay? And I literally took the video and I translated it myself. So this is from a city called Izeh. Okay, so this is back in March. Just watch this. So they're saying Izeh is ready for the king's command. What is that? I mean, how much clearer does it get? How much, are these Israeli bots? Are these people in the city of Izeh Israeli bots? Do you see how these people are flat out lying? They're lying. Now, their lies worked 15, 20 years ago. The reason that their lies worked 15, 20 years ago is because there was not social media. They controlled the media, they controlled the narrative. And while these people, funded by the Islamic Republic, managed to climb into positions of power in order to control the narrative and manipulate public perception of what's happening in Iran, that narrative does not work anymore. And that is because of social media. That is because now every single Iranian in occupied Iran is a citizen journalist, right? Iranians have the ability to share with the world the truth about what's going on, the actual truth, right? So this is why these people like Farnaz Fasihi, who is a journalist for the New York Times, blocks me and others who call her out because she does not want people to know the truth. She is a paid shill for the Islamic Republic. Okay. And if I'm wrong, take me to court. Take me to court, because I would love to undergo discoveries. I would love to undergo discoveries. I would love to open up your finances and your bank accounts and see exactly where that funding is coming from. Just saying. Because we are sick and tired of this. The connection is very clear. The connection is very, very clear. And I mean, this video that I showed you, that is from, back in March. Okay, so that's from March. Let me show you a video that just came out today. Okay. So this is a video from today. Okay. Well, not today, sorry. This is a video from 2 days ago, but it came out today. And the reason it came out today is because the Islamic Republic tries to block internet access, so it's difficult to get videos out of the country. And so that's why, you know, oftentimes when something happens, it takes a little bit of time for the information to come out here. But here's a video. I'm going to play it for you. So let me just explain to you. So there's a city in Iran called Hamadan, and the students are chanting, Reza Shah, bless your soul. Long live Pahlavi. Again, Pahlavi, okay, Pahlavi is the leader of the Iranian opposition, right? So Pahlavi is the person that all these Islamists and communists are attacking. Pahlavi is the person that the Haaretz article claims, falsely claims, has zero support inside of Iran, and it's all like, you know, a fake psyops, paid for by Israel, and it's, you know, his only support is online, you know, all that nonsense, right? So, and then, you know, here Iranians would rather die than be subjugated. So let's watch this video, which, you know, Haaretz, and then people like Farnos Fasihi, and, you know, communists like Coerced, and I'll get to that, you know, human garbage in a little bit, and talk about him because he has blood on his hands as well. And this isn't the first time that Coerced has been implicated with the Islamic Republic, and I will talk about that as well, because many of us have questions, not just me, but many people in the Iranian Canadian community have questions about this guy and what his motivations are. But, you know, so here's a video of what these Iranian leftists and communists and Islamists claim are Israeli bots, right? So according to them, this is fake and this is paid for by Israel. Let's watch this. So I'm gonna go through this, okay? I'm gonna go through this piece by piece, and I'm going to break down exactly what they are yelling. And I mean, you can just hear the desperation in the woman's voice, right? Like the way she is yelling, okay? The way she is yelling, the desperation in her voice. She is desperate to tell the world, this is what we want. I mean, how much more desperate can you get? How much more frustrated can you get, right? So when you have people like Farnos Fasihi and Coerced and Trita Parsi and, you know, the MEK and the communists and the Islamists and the leftists denying the reality of Iranians, right? They are living comfortably in the West, and they are just lying about the reality in Iran because they want the Islamic Republic to remain in power because they are getting rich off of the pain and suffering and oppression and execution of innocent Iranians. So let's watch this video, and I will break down exactly what this young Iranian university student, right? Like these people, again, keep in mind, these people are young university students, right? This is Gen Z. This is the Gen Z generation in Iran right now. The Gen Z generation in Iran are literally fighting for their lives, okay? They are risking their lives because they want freedom and they want King Reza Pahlavi to return. So I'll play this for you and we'll go like bit by bit. So over there, they're saying Reza Shah Ruhat Shad, which means, you know, King Reza, bless your soul. They're referring to Reza Shah the First, so which is the grandfather of the current Shah of Iran, Reza Shah. Here, I'll find. Let me find a photo of him and I'll put it up, and I'll talk a little bit about him as well. So here we go. This is who they're referring to. All right. here we go. So this is Reza Shah the Great. He is the grandfather of the current Shah of Iran. And he is we call him the father of modern day Iran. So he came to power, I believe it was, off the top of my head, I think it was 1923, either 21 or 23, something like that. Brought in through a vote, through the constitution of Iran at the time. So contrary to what the Islamists and the communists want you to believe, prior to 1979, Iran was a constitutional monarchy. And the Pahlavi dynasty came into power through the Majlis. The Majlis is the democratically elected parliament of Iran. So the Pahlavi dynasty came in through the constitution, through a legitimate and valid constitutional process. Okay, so the young Iranians right now in Iran, literally 2 days ago, are chanting Reza Shah Ruhat Shad, which means, Reza Shah, King Reza, God bless your soul. Why? Because the Pahlavi dynasty modernized Iran. They brought us out of the, Islamic dark ages, and we're in the process of modernizing Iran and turning Iran into a thriving Western first world society. That is until, of course, 1979, when the Islamists and the communists took over and, overnight turned our country into an Islamic hellhole and took us back to the 7th century. So just imagine, okay, we're literally 100 years later. Okay, so it was literally around this time that the Pahlavi dynasty first came into power in Iran 100 years ago. And it was this person right here, Reza Shah the Great. We call him Reza Shah the Great, founder of modern day Iran. So, and the young Iranians who are yelling and chanting Reza Shah Ruhat Shad in universities, these are Gen Z. Okay, so these are literally young Iranians who were born after the Islamic Republic took the country hostage, right? So they have never lived in a free Iran. They have never experienced what it's like to live in a constitutional monarchy. All they know is everything that they have learned themselves through internet, through history. And of course, the Islamic Republic has tried very hard to spread lies about Reza Shah the Great. And of course, his son as well, Shahanshah Aryameh, the father of the current Shah of Iran. We'll get to him in like another podcast. But I just wanted to give you some context. So again, when you see the young Iranians in universities today yelling Reza Shah Ruhat Shad, they're referring to him. Why? Because it is a call for wanting to go back to the constitutional monarchy, and it is a call for wanting to, for wanting the Pahlavi family, which is the royal family of Iran, to return back to Iran. This is what Iranians want, and yet you have communists. Okay, you have communists like Farnaz Fasihi. You have communists like Farnaz Fasihi, and then the person next to her, at least if my mouse works here, so Farnaz Fasihi, and then the person next to her who's an Islamist, Trita Parsi, who are claiming that this is all fake, that there is no support for Pahlavi, and that it's all an Israeli propaganda piece, right? Well, I mean, if it's fake and if it's an Israeli propaganda piece, then who are these people? Let me, bring up the video. So who are these people? If it's all an Israeli propaganda piece, who are these people who are yelling Reza Shah Ruhat Shad? Okay, so that's the first part of what they're chanting. Okay, Reza Shah Ruhat Shad. Now the next part of what they're chanting here, I'll play it for you. So she says, Javid Pahlavi. Do you hear that? Here, let's go back. Javid Pahlavi. So what does Javid Pahlavi mean? Javid Pahlavi means long live Pahlavi. So they're not even saying long live the king anymore, because usually what Iranians will say is Javid Shah, which means long live the king. Iranians are going beyond that now. They're saying long live Pahlavi. Like, it's not even about the king anymore. They are naming the Pahlavi family. They are naming Reza Pahlavi. Reza Pahlavi is the current Shah of Iran. If you don't know who I'm speaking about, I mean, I guess you must be very, very new, but I'll pull up his picture in case you don't know who I'm speaking about. So let me pull it up here. Gosh, where's this photo? Here we go. So when Iranians, that Iranian university student, when she is yelling Javid Pahlavi, she's referring to this gentleman right here, who is the current Shah of Iran, Reza Shah II. I just showed you an image of his grandfather, so this is him right now. He is the leader of the Iranian opposition. He is the only person that Iranians inside of occupied Iran trust. He is the person that the Islamic Republic, along with their paid propagandists outside of Iran, and along with Haaretz, are claiming is funded by Israel, and that they have zero support. He has zero support inside of occupied Iran. But as you can see from this video, okay, so this video literally 2 days ago, this video came out. The university students are yelling Reza Shah Ruhat Shad, which means, they're referring to his grandfather. And then they're saying long live Pahlavi, right? How much clearer does it get? Is this a paid Israeli operation as well? Some people might claim it is, but that just goes to show you how deranged they are, how desperate they are. And I want to play it again. Listen to the desperation in this woman's voice. Like, you can tell she is yelling from the top of her lungs. Okay. She is yelling from the top of her lungs, right? And the reason she's doing so is because she is frustrated, she is angry, and she is tired of the Islamic Republic paid propagandists putting out these lies. Iranians are telling you exactly who they want and exactly what they want. And the reason that the paid propagandists outside of Iran are spreading these lies and trying to deny it is precisely because they are paid propagandists. It's precisely because they are paid by the Islamic Republic to promote the Islamic Republic and maintain its legitimacy. Their job is basically to preserve the Islamic Republic, right? So here we go. Let's watch this again, and then we'll go to the next part. Oh, wait, let me switch. Okay, the video's there. All right. So, they say Reza Shah Ruhat Shad, Javid Pahlavi, and then Reza Shah Ruhat Shad. Again, Reza Shah, God bless your soul. Now let's go to the next part of the video. I'll see what they're chanting, and then I'll translate it for you. So that's also another very popular chant. And then what they're saying is basically Iranians would rather die than be subjugated. So they're referring directly to the Islamic Republic, right? Because right now, Iran is being occupied by the Islamic Republic. So what they're saying is Irani mimirand millat nemipaziran, which means we would rather die than be subjugated by the Islamic Republic, right? So this is a call for freedom. This is a call for wanting to overthrow the Islamic Republic and go back to what Iran was, okay? So again, it's incredibly shameful that there are, paid propagandists like this garbage woman, Farnos Fasihi, who's claiming that they've never seen any support for Pahlavi inside of Iran. This is how these people try to gaslight. They ignore the truth. They come up with their own lies, and they publish their lies in, newspaper articles. And then they say, well, I've never reported on it, so it must not exist. No, you have not reported on it because you are part of the Islamic regime propaganda network. You are paid to spread lies. You are part of what we call the controlled opposition. And you have a special place waiting for you in hell. All of you do. Everyone in this photo. And that includes this guy right here. You, Goldie Show, that includes you. You have a special place in hell as well. This guy who claims he's fighting the Islamic Republic, who claims that, he's fighting for human rights and democracy, he also promoted that garbage article by Haaretz. He also claimed that there is no support for King Reza Pahlavi. And, as much as these progressive leftist elites try to hide their anti-Semitism, they can't, because he came out and he said that this whole thing is an astroturf Israeli opposition. Like, how much of a disgusting human being do you have to be to literally rely on the worst anti-Semitic trope possible just because you suffer from Pahlavi derangement syndrome, right? Like all of these leftists, I don't know what it is. It's some sort of disease. It's some sort of mentality. This guy lives in Canada, by the way. Canada is a constitutional monarchy, right? So he has no problem living in a constitutional monarchy, right? But when it comes to Iran, when it comes to the the Iranian people, oh no constitutional monarchy there, right? Like, to me, it's very disingenuous, and to me, it just shows that these people are grifters. If you hate constitutional monarchy so much, why the hell are you in Canada? Because to me, you are not just a traitor to Iran, you're a traitor to Canada. Like, go live in a republic. If that's what you love so much, go live in a republic. Why are you in Canada? And by the way, this guy created an organization and, with the help of the Canadian government, created a fund for $76 million. And I'm going to be doing some digging into that because I want to know what you're doing with those $76 million. This guy's getting basically paid $76 million of your Canadian taxpayer money to spread Islamic regime propaganda. Do you think that's a good use of your taxpayer dollars? Because I don't. I don't think this guy should be getting paid a single penny of your Canadian taxpayer dollars to spread Islamic regime propaganda. And we have a right, as Canadian citizens, we have a right to know how that money is being spent by people like Goldie Show who promote Islamic regime propaganda. Just saying. Where's the money? And this is why I'm mad. This is why I'm mad, because while these disgusting leftists, okay, not just leftists, it's literally, you have a leftist like Goldie Show, right? And you have an Islamist like Reza Pahlavi, and then you have a communist like Farnos Fasihi, all of them united in this universal grift, right? This universal grift to promote the rhetoric of the Islamic Republic, because they are all making money off of the suffering of the Iranian people, right? And then what happens when they promote the fake news and the rhetoric of the Islamic Republic? You know what happens? Innocent Iranians inside of occupied Iran get arrested and have to make forced confessions claiming that they're Israeli agents, which then leads to their execution. And that's what we saw yesterday. These people spent days promoting the fake news Haaretz article. And guess what? Yesterday, the Islamic Republic actually published the Haaretz article and used it as justification to claim that an innocent Iranian man is a part of the Israeli operation. So, but you know how these people gaslight? And I'll play that video for you because the video is horrific. It's horrifying. When we speak about the forced confessions, when we speak about how dangerous it is to publish fake news about Iran and the Iranian opposition, this is what we're referring to. Because when you publish fake news about the Iranian opposition, you're not just getting something for likes and clicks and views. You are literally endangering the lives of Iranians because you are not dealing with a normal, rational government. You're dealing with an Islamic dictatorship, a totalitarian dictatorship that can murder an innocent Iranian at any point in time for any reason. Okay? This isn't Canada, right? This isn't Canada. This is the United States. This isn't a normal Western democratic country. This is the Islamic Republic of Iran, arguably the most brutal totalitarian dictatorship in the world, and these people are supporting it and enabling it. So let's watch this horrifying video of the forced confession. So what I'm about to show you, the video I'm about to show you, was broadcast on Islamic regime state TV. Okay. This video was broadcast on Islamic regime state TV, and everything that they are saying is a lie. Okay, so and I broke it down last night, but when we Iranians talk about gaslighting, when we talk about conspiracy theories, when we talk about lies, when we say that we cannot rely on anything that comes out of the Islamic Republic, this is what we're referring to, because everything is part of its propaganda network, okay? And listen to the language, because the language that they're using, okay, the language that they're using is the same language that the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas people use in the West, okay? So the language that they're using in the West, that might be new to people who are not Iranian. It might be like a new narrative, new rhetoric. Oh, this seems legitimate. No. As Iranians, we know that this is the language of terrorists. This is the language of jihadists. This is the language of Islamists, right? And that's why, the pro-Palestine, pro-Hamas people don't like Iranians, because we call them out on their jihadi Islamofascist nonsense. We call them out on their garbage, trashy narrative. We call them out on their terrorist behavior, and that's why they hate us. That's why they constantly attack us, because they know that we expose them, and so they try to silence us, right? But I just want to remind you, every accusation is an admission of guilt. So again, look how coordinated this whole effort was, right? It starts with this Haaretz article, which basically spreads propaganda and fake news about the legitimate Iranian opposition. That article is then promoted and amplified by a group of Islamists and communists and leftists, freedom fighters, who amplify the fake news and make it even worse and add, even more lies to it, right? And then those lies are then amplified by the Islamic Republic itself, okay, and used as justification to murder innocent Iranians who are fighting to overthrow the Islamic regime by accusing them of being paid Israeli agents. Do you see the connection there? Do you see how these people operate? Okay, it's a very, very clear line from Haaretz to promoting lies to then executing Iranians. This is how the Islamic Republic stays in power. So let's watch this video, this news broadcast by the Islamic Republic, and just imagine. Again, this is a forced confession. So imagine how much they must have tortured this man to the point where they don't even show his face. His face is blurred. Why? I can guarantee you his face is blurred because he's probably covered in bruises and wounds and God knows what cigarette burns from the amount of torture. Okay, so let's just watch this horrifying video.
صهیونیست‌ها چطور از ربات‌های مجازی و عوامل سلطنت طلب در طول 12 روز تجاوز به خاک ایران استفاده کردند؟
پیجی درست کردم در توییتر، بعد گذاشتمش جیمز پیدی.
برای اینکه دیده شود شروع می‌کند به توهین به مقدسات. کمی که می‌گذرد برای خودش اسم در می‌کند در فضای مجازی. گوید سلطنت طلب است.
توی بهار 402 که رضا پهلوی به اسرائیل رفت این بود که من با اون جریان پیش رفتم و رفتم به اون سمت و از ایشون حمایت کردم، دیوار نویسی کردیم، براش بسیار توییت زدم، توییت هاش رو ریتوییت کردم و ازش حمایت کردم.
جیمز و دار و دستش با شکست آشوب‌ها در ایران مأموریتشان تغییر می‌کند. بعد از سفر پهلوی به سرزمین‌های اشغال شده، پا را از گلیمشان درازتر هم می‌کنند. در فضای مجازی می‌نویسند بیایید به ایران حمله کنید. جز افرادی مثل جیمز و دار و دستش، صهیونیست‌ها برای پیشبرد اهدافشان از طریق و یا به نام پهلوی یک لشکر سایبری از ربات‌ها هم راه انداخته بودند. این را روزنامه صهیونیستی هارتز فاش کرده، موضوعی که خیانت‌های پهلوی را باز هم سر زبان‌ها انداخته و او را رسواتر کرده، حتی میان طرفداران سابقش.
کارزار رضا پهلوی کاملا تحت الحمایه در دولت آقای نتانیاهو است. تماما از اونجا داره اداره میشه. قبلا هم این کارو کرده بود.
محمد جواد رضا سلطانی، خبرگزاری صدا و سیما.
So do you see how scared they are? That they're literally broadcasting fake news. Well, not just fake news. Like they're literally, where's this Haaretz article here? Here, right? Like this is the end result of communists, Islamists, and leftist progressives like Kaveh who's promoting this article. The same article that they promoted is now being broadcast by the Islamic Republic itself, right? And they're using this article to justify, or they're using this article to claim that, sorry, like it's so upsetting. They're using this article to claim that the legitimate opposition inside of Iran is actually all fake and they're all Israeli agents. So what, like 80 million Iranians are Israeli agents? I mean, these people have no shame. And this is why I'm mad. This is why I'm livid, because these Islamists, and, you know, I mean, Islamists aside, the Islamists, we know who they are, right? Like they're already vile, garbage human beings anyway. But those who claim that they're fighting the Islamic Republic, and yet they put out blatant lies, right? Blatant lies, because they suffer from what we call Pahlavi derangement syndrome. They put out blatant lies knowing full well what's going to happen, and then that's exactly what happened. And now they're, you know, trying to backtrack. It's very shameful. It's disgusting behavior. And Iranians are taking notice. Let me show you my feed, because I've kind of been monitoring my X feed, and I've been bookmarking some of the you know, things that have been popping up, and I'm telling you, like, Iranians are livid, right? Like right now, this is a big deal on Iranian social media. So let me just go through some of this stuff here, and I'll translate here and there. So Joker Nejad, that's an account that you know, basically keeps the receipts on everyone who spreads Islamic regime propaganda. So very, very interesting account, very good account. If you're interested in, you know, knowing where all the tea comes from, or if you're interested in the tea, you definitely want to follow this account. They only tweet in Farsi, but of course you can use AI to translate, and the translation is generally pretty accurate. So, you know, just looking at some of the things that they've posted. So here, for example, this is new information that's come out. So now, you know, so I want to explain this forced confession, right? This forced confession, apparently they're now claiming that the forced confession happened from before and it was pre-recorded, and the Islamic Republic was just waiting for the right time to air it. And as soon as the Haaretz article was published and then it was pushed by certain media outlets, all of a sudden the forced confession was aired. So if this is true, if this is true, and I'll read what he says here in a moment, but if this is true, then this shows that there was a coordinated, this was all coordinated by the Islamic Republic, between the Islamic Republic and propaganda outlets outside of Iran. So here, according to the sister of Amir Hossein Mousavi, so Amir Hossein Mousavi is the Iranian man who you saw in the earlier video, who had to do the forced confession, claiming that he's an Israeli agent. So according to the sister of Amir Hossein Mousavi, the film Forced Confessions was filmed months ago. But why wasn't it aired? Security forces were waiting for an opportunity to air it. The second Haaretz article is published, and I emphasize second because the first article, which was printed 2 months ago, wasn't seen at all. But this time, BBC Persian, Farnos Fasihi from the New York Times, along with a group of expatriates, and also all government media from Tehran and Tasnim to the 8:30 News, are heavily amplifying the article and preparing the atmosphere for airing the confessions of prisoners and attributing them to Israel. This has been a completely deliberate collaboration with security institutions to destroy Pahlavi and suppress their supporters. And Amir Hossein Mousavi is the first victim of this collaboration. So what this account is essentially saying is that with this forced confession, the Islamic Republic is setting the stage to start a whole series of forced confessions, right? Because the Islamic Republic, of course, wants to remain in power, and the Islamic Republic is afraid of Reza Pahlavi, who's the leader of the Iranian opposition, because he's the only legitimate leader. So they are pulling out all the stops. They are trying to do everything they possibly can to delegitimize the Iranian opposition and also to silence Iranians and scare them into not acting out, right? So for them to do this, they're sending a signal, they're sending a message, and they're basically saying that Amir Hossein Mousavi is going to be the first victim, but not the last. And this is all being enabled by people in the West. This is being enabled by everyone who is promoting that Haaretz article. And now, what's even more disgusting and even more sickening is that those same, leftists and communists who were pushing that article, okay, are now coming out and saying, "Oh, save Amir Hossein Mousavi, save Amir Hossein Mousavi." This is literally how they operate. It's like this vicious cycle where it's like this vicious cycle where they will create a story, they will implicate someone with that story. That person will then be arrested and tortured and put on death row by the Islamic Republic. These people will then claim, "Oh, free this person, here's my organization, give money to my organization to help free this person." And then when that person is executed, they'll rinse and repeat. They'll start all over again. They'll create another story. And then implicate another person. That person gets arrested, tortured, executed. They will cry about it. They'll write articles about it. They'll, do demonstrations, protests, whatever. And then they'll get money, and then they'll start all over again. This is how they operate. This is how they have been grifting off of the Iranian people for the last 47 years. These people are not interested in a solution. They're interested in making money. And they are willing to sacrifice anyone. These people are willing to sacrifice their own mothers if it means they can make money. Right? Like this is how these people operate. So I'm just going through my bookmarks here. Where did this person write? So this is a very good this is a very, very good post, and I wanted to share this. So the closer we get to overthrowing the Islamic Republic, the closer the red and blacks get to each other. So again, like that's what I was speaking about, the union of the red and the black, red being the communists, Marxists, progressives, leftists, whatever, and black, of course, being the Islamists. So this army of the red and black is what united to take over the country back in 1979 and turn Iran into an Islamic hellhole. And it is this same army of the red and black that we're seeing today. The same army of the red and black right here, right? Like these people. This is the army of the red and black, where you see the communists and the Islamists and the leftists united in pushing and promoting the same narrative. So the closer we get to overthrowing the Islamic Republic, the closer the red and blacks get to each other. All of these shameless Pahlaviists, what is it? Right. So what they're saying is the translation isn't entirely accurate there. So he's saying all of these, people, he swears a little bit, who spread lies and fabricating cases are accomplices of the Islamic Republic, 100%. So, like I've said, everyone who is supporting and promoting this Haaretz article is part of the Islamic Republic, 100%. They're all promoting and pushing that Islamic regime propaganda. So these are all accomplices of the Islamic Republic and work towards the survival of the regime, 100%. So this is just some of the, some of the sentiments and thoughts in the Iranian community right now. So, and here, like you can just see, they're calling out people. Here we go. So you can see, like, Iranians are livid, right? Like Iranians are incredibly livid. So here, like this person wrote, whatever calamity befalls Amir Hossein. So this is the Iranian man in that forced confession video, okay? So the Islamic Republic forced this Iranian man to claim that he is an Israeli agent, right? So this Iranian writes, whatever calamity befalls Amir Hossein, all those who, by citing the nonsense of Haaretz, attributed the monarchist accounts to Israel are guilty accomplices. I agree. Like, these people are all guilty. So let me go to my bookmarks here. So I spoke about this. So you can see this video here is going viral. The one that I showed you about, what is it? About Iran International. And the video about the students in the university who are yelling, King Reza Pahlavi, Javid Shah, Javid Pahlavi. It's going viral because Iranians, like, they're using social media to fight back against the Haaretz article, right? They're using social media to fight back against the propaganda of the Islamic Republic. So that video is, of course, going viral. And then, so here's interesting. So this is what I wanted to put up here. So this person, like, this guy's like another communist, right? He's one of the people who was promoting that article. So he's one of the people that was promoting the fake news article by Haaretz, which then the Islamic Republic used to arrest this gentleman here, Amir Hossein. Now that same person, he's writing Amir Hossein Mousavi Ra Azad Konid, okay? So he's saying, like, free Amir Hossein Mousavi. So again, this is how these people make money. This is how their funding operations work. They make a fake story. They use a story to push a false narrative. The Islamic regime picks up on that story, uses it to arrest and execute dissidents. And then the same people that created and promoted the fake news story in the first place come out and pretend all of a sudden like they care about Iranian lives, right? And then it's like rinse and repeat, and it starts all over again, right? And they do this in order to fabricate a scenario where they can make money and get funds. And Iranians are calling them out on this, right? Like, they're like, we're calling them out because we're sick of it. We're sick of the nonsense. But this is a 47-year cycle, right? This is how these people have operated for 47 years. And this is why the Islamic Republic still hasn't been free to this day. Now, here's something interesting. I'm not going to play the video for you because the video itself is in Farsi and it doesn't have English subtitles, but let me just read for you what it says. So Tina, she is the editor-in-chief of Manoto News. Manoto News is one of the few Iranian media outlets that we can rely upon. They're not based inside of Iran. They're based in the UK. Again, like we can't rely on any media outlets inside of Iran. But outside of Iran, Manoto is probably the most trustworthy of all of them. So, they're pretty good, pretty reliable. So she's the editor-in-chief. So here she wrote, just one day after the warning we issued at the end of the Manoto report regarding the article published in the left-wing newspaper Haaretz, exactly the same unfortunate incident happened to Amir Hossein Mousavi. So in their broadcast, they say, regardless of any assessment of Haaretz's leanings, what concerns Iranian activists is that this recent report could easily turn into security fodder for the Islamic Republic, a tool for pinning the label connection to Israel and building cases against defenseless protesters, especially those who, under widespread repression, are forced to operate with anonymous accounts in virtual spaces. So again, the Haaretz article claims that the entire support network for King Reza Pahlavi is all just fake Israeli bots and there's no actual support. The reality is that Iranians in occupied Iran cannot use their real names or their real faces or real images. Because first of all, social media is banned, right? First of all, right off the bat, social media is banned, X is banned. So anyone who uses their real name and real image who's located inside of Iran is automatically part of the Islamic Republic. That's the first thing. Anyone who says they're not is completely lying. It's a lie. They're gaslighting. And unfortunately, there are many accounts of people who are inside of Iran who claim they're not with the Islamic Republic, but they actually are. Because literally, social media is banned. You cannot even access X without using a VPN. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is that, so because X is banned and because it's, against the law to use X, naturally, Iranian dissidents who are fighting to overthrow the Islamic Republic are not going to use their actual name. They're not going to use their actual photo because they would endanger themselves and their lives. And we have seen this in the past. The Islamic Republic in the past has literally identified and murdered Iranian dissidents who were, accidentally identified through their social media accounts and even from their TikTok accounts, right? One girl, Hadis Najafi, she was an active TikTok user and she was out protesting in the streets. She was identified through her TikTok account and then she was murdered. She was captured, raped, and murdered, right? So this is the reality. But when you have Haaretz twisting that fact, basically, not only are they delegitimizing the movement, but they are then giving the, they're giving the Islamic Republic what they need to sort of legitimize the brutal execution of innocent Iranians. Do you see how this is all tied in together? Do you see how the fake news and the propagandists and the Islamic Republic feed off of one another? Right. And what's crazy is that if the evidence wasn't there, if the documents weren't there, if I was just going to speak about all this without providing any sort of receipts or proof, you would all probably think that I'm just making this up or that I'm lying about it. Right. And there are many who try to gaslight us. And that's why whenever I speak out about this, I have to have the receipts, because if I don't, people will accuse me of lying. Those who are, interested in maintaining the legitimacy of the Islamic Republic will accuse me of lying. What's interesting is that they themselves, they will lie without providing any facts to back up what they're saying, right? So they have no problem lying. They will lie and lie and lie, and they have been lying for the last 47 years. They will lie and they'll promote their own lies and they'll bootstrap their own lies. But when it comes to us, even when we say the truth, even when we provide the receipts, they still try to go after us. They still try to attack us, and they still try to delegitimize our efforts, even when we are literally showing the videos in your faces, right? It's all there. It's all there. And go back, and for those of you who've just tuned in, go back, watch, this live stream from the beginning, because I have all the receipts. And then go back and watch my live stream from yesterday. I'll show you which one. Let me pull it up here, because that one, I go through the Haaretz article, and I go through the actual study, right? I go through the study that it's I go through the study that it claims, and it's this one right here. So when you go to my YouTube channel, you want to go to this one here. Is Israel behind King Reza Pahlavi and the Iranian opposition? So I streamed that one yesterday, and that one I break down. Okay, so I go right from the beginning. I go to the actual study that Haaretz claims. Says that the whole opposition is fake and whatever, which the study does not say that at all. And I break that down, and then I go through the Haaretz article, and then I go through how this is being used and promoted by the left. Now, at the time that I broadcast this yesterday, we still had not heard news about the fact that the Islamic Republic had used the Haaretz article to force confession from an Iranian prisoner. That news came out only a few hours later. So that's why I'm speaking about this garbage trash article again today, and I'm speaking about the leftists and the communists and the Islamists again today, because I was hoping that this Haaretz article would be a one-day news story. I expose the lies, I expose the corruption, and then we move on. But the worst nightmare for us Iranians happened, and that worst nightmare is that the Islamic Republic is feeding off of the propagandists in propagandists on the left who claim that they're human rights activists. It's feeding off of journalists and the Islamists. It's feeding off of all of this, and it is now broadcasting the Haaretz article to try and claim that the legitimate Iranian opposition is actually part of this, paid Israeli psyops, whatever, which is complete and utter nonsense. And they're using the Haaretz article to now justify executing Iranian citizens. And again, these are innocent Iranians. Their only crime is wanting to live in a free and democratic society, right? So this gentleman right here, right? Amir Hossein Mousavi, he is now at risk of being executed at any day, because these people down below, right? The army of the red and the black, they promoted and legitimized not just the Haaretz article, but they were attacking King Reza Pahlavi, and they were saying that anyone who supports King Reza Pahlavi, they're basically paid Israeli propagandists. So for them to claim they are paid Israeli propaganda, like they're basically saying that this guy right here, this innocent Iranian man, is a paid Israeli propagandist. No proof whatsoever, no proof. And because they have no proof, the Islamic Republic made him do a forced confession. We all know it's a forced confession. Forced confessions are par for the course when it comes to the Islamic Republic. And we all know that forced confessions are a prelude to execution. The Islamic Republic does not force you to confess to something unless they're planning to execute you. And his crime is that he wanted to live in a free Iran. He wants to live in a secular democracy. He wants to live in a country without Sharia law. And all these people down below have blood on their hands. Not just his blood, the blood of every single Iranian who's ever been murdered by the Islamic Republic, because these people are the ones who are enabling it. I want to thank you all for joining the live stream. I'm going to end it here. I have a lot more to say. I don't think I'm going to let this go. I don't think Iranians are going to let this go. We need to have some accountability. These people need to be held accountable. These people, sorry, like I'm so upset. These people need to be held accountable for their crimes against humanity. These people are promoting an Islamic dictatorship from the comfort and safety of Western countries. These people don't live in Iran, right? Like these people are defending the Islamic Republic, but they don't live in Iran. That's what is really frustrating as well. They don't live in Iran, but they promote the Islamic Republic, which murders actual Iranians living in Iran. Thank you guys for joining. I appreciate all of you, and I will see you tomorrow, same time, same place. Don't forget to go to my YouTube channel to like and subscribe and join the conversation there. And I'll see you all tomorrow at 12 noon Eastern. Payande Iran, Javid Shah.